What was supposed to be the most celebrated moment of Shohei Ohtani's 2026 season instantly turned into one of the most controversial and shocking scenes in recent MLB history. The ball had barely cleared the outfield fence when the umpires stopped everything. The crowd went silent. Players froze on the field. And Shohei Ohtani, the greatest baseball player on the planet, was detained right there at home plate, unable to complete his home run trot. What happened next sent shockwaves through the entire baseball world, and Ohtani's confession afterward left absolutely nobody prepared for what he was about to say. The Los Angeles Dodgers have been playing some of the most exciting baseball of the 2026 season. With a roster filled with elite talent, expectations have never been higher in Los Angeles. Fans packed Dodger Stadium to capacity, desperate to witness what many had been predicting all spring: Shohei Ohtani's first home run of the season. After a slow start at the plate by his own extraordinary standards, Ohtani had been unusually quiet in the power department. Analysts and fans alike were beginning to whisper. Was something wrong? Was the pressure of a new season getting to him? Was the two-way superstar managing some kind of undisclosed physical issue? The questions were piling up faster than answers could come. Then, on this particular evening, with Dodger Stadium electric with anticipation, Shohei Ohtani stepped into the batter's box with that familiar calm expression that has made him one of the most feared hitters in all of baseball. The opposing pitcher wound up, delivered, and Ohtani's bat connected with a crack so loud it silenced every conversation in the stadium. The ball launched off his bat at a terrifying angle, climbing higher and higher before disappearing beyond the outfield fence. For one brief, glorious moment, Dodger Stadium erupted. But that celebration would last only seconds. Almost immediately, something unusual happened. Instead of the standard home run celebration, the umpiring crew began a rapid, urgent conversation near home plate. Head umpire signaled toward the replay review booth, and what followed was something most fans inside Dodger Stadium had never witnessed before in real time. The umpires called for an official replay review, not of whether the ball was fair or foul, not of whether it actually cleared the fence, but specifically targeting Ohtani's bat itself. Ohtani, who had already begun his home run trot with that trademark modest smile, was suddenly stopped. An umpire physically gestured for him to halt near home plate. Ohtani looked confused at first. His teammates in the dugout leaned forward, unsure of what was unfolding. The Dodger Stadium crowd, moments ago roaring with joy, began to buzz with confusion and growing tension. On the massive video boards inside the stadium, the replay began rolling. The umpiring crew huddled, communicating with the replay officials in New York. Every second felt like an hour. Players from both teams watched in stunned silence. This was not a standard home run review. Something much more serious was being examined. Then the announcement came. After several tense minutes of review, the head umpire walked toward home plate and delivered a ruling that absolutely nobody in that stadium was expecting. The home run would stand. The ball had clearly and legally left the field of play. However, the umpires issued a severe penalty directed specifically at Ohtani and the Dodgers organization. The ruling centered on Ohtani's bat. Upon close examination through the high-definition replay system, umpires and official reviewers in New York identified what they believed to be an irregularity with Ohtani's bat that potentially violated MLB equipment regulations. The specific details of the violation were communicated to Dodgers manager Dave Roberts and to Ohtani's interpreter directly at home plate. Ohtani was officially ordered to surrender his current bat and replace it immediately with a different, regulation-approved model. Beyond the bat change, a formal penalty notation was entered into the official game record, a serious mark that carries potential consequences for future games and could trigger a broader MLB equipment investigation targeting not just Ohtani, but the entire Dodgers dugout. The news spread through Dodger Stadium like wildfire. Fans who moments ago were celebrating Ohtani's long-awaited first home run were now standing in complete disbelief. What happened next was equally dramatic and completely unexpected. Kyle Tucker, one of the Dodgers' most respected and composed veteran presences in the clubhouse, immediately charged out of the dugout. Tucker is not known as a player who confronts umpires. He is quiet, professional, and focused. But what he witnessed at home plate clearly crossed a line he was unwilling to accept in silence. Tucker approached the umpiring crew with visible anger, gesturing emphatically and demanding an explanation for what he called, according to sources close to the dugout, an absolutely unacceptable and embarrassing ruling directed at his teammate. His voice carried across the infield. Fans near the field-level seats reported hearing Tucker directly challenging the umpire's authority to make such a ruling based solely on a replay review. But Tucker was not alone. Freeman, the heart and soul of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and one of the most beloved players in the entire sport, joined Tucker at the umpire's position with equal intensity. Freeman, who carries enormous respect throughout baseball due to his character and professionalism, was visibly furious. Those who know Freeman understand that it takes something truly extraordinary to push him to this level of public confrontation with an official. Freeman reportedly told the umpiring crew that the ruling was not only unfair to Ohtani personally, but set a dangerous and troubling precedent for how replay review could be weaponized in future situations. He argued passionately, pointing toward the replay board, toward Ohtani, and toward the Dodgers' dugout in rapid succession. The commotion inside Dodger Stadium grew louder by the second. Fans began booing the umpiring crew with full force. The energy inside the stadium had completely transformed from pure celebration into raw, unfiltered outrage. Television cameras captured every moment as Tucker and Freeman continued their protest, with other Dodgers players beginning to emerge from the dugout in a show of solidarity with their teammate. Manager Dave Roberts also joined the protest, engaging in a heated exchange with the head umpire that required 2 additional crew members to step in and manage. At several points, it appeared that ejections were imminent. The atmosphere inside Dodger Stadium had become genuinely chaotic. Throughout all of this extraordinary chaos surrounding him, Shohei Ohtani stood at home plate with an expression that was difficult to read. He watched Tucker and Freeman protest on his behalf. He watched his manager argue passionately with the officials. He stood there, bat in hand, in the middle of what had become the most controversial moment of the 2026 MLB season so far. Then Ohtani did something that surprised everyone. He calmly placed his bat on the ground, not throwing it in anger, but deliberately, almost ceremonially setting it down, and he stepped away from the plate. He nodded slowly to the umpire, signaling his acceptance of the ruling. He gently waved toward Tucker and Freeman, as if asking them to stand down. He then walked quietly into the Dodgers' dugout while his teammates continued protesting around him. The image of Ohtani calmly laying his bat down while the entire stadium erupted around him became one of the most striking and talked about images of the baseball season within minutes of it happening. After the game, which the Dodgers won despite the mid-game controversy, Shohei Ohtani approached the post-game media session with his usual calm demeanor. Reporters packed the interview area, all desperate to hear his response to what had unfolded during the game. What Ohtani said next shocked the entire baseball world. Speaking through his interpreter, Ohtani openly acknowledged that he had been aware of a specific characteristic of that particular bat before stepping into the batter's box. He did not attempt to deflect blame, did not express outrage toward the umpires, and did not criticize the ruling. Instead, Ohtani took complete personal responsibility in a confession that nobody in the room had anticipated. He stated clearly that while he did not believe the bat provided him with any unfair competitive advantage, he understood why the umpires and replay officials flagged it for review. He acknowledged that in baseball, rules exist to protect the integrity of the game, and that even if a violation is unintentional, accepting the consequences is part of being a professional. He then added something even more surprising. Ohtani revealed that the experience of hitting his first home run of the season, even under these controversial circumstances, reminded him of why he plays baseball. He said that no controversy, no penalty, and no bat change would ever take away the feeling of that moment when the ball left his bat and he knew, before anyone else in the stadium, that it was going over the fence. The room went silent. Then Ohtani smiled that quiet, genuine smile that Dodger fans know so well, and said simply, he would be back tomorrow with a new bat, ready to do it again. This incident raises serious and important questions that the entire baseball world will be discussing in the coming days. First, the scope and application of replay review in equipment violation situations needs immediate clarity from MLB headquarters. The precedent set tonight could have far-reaching consequences for how equipment checks are conducted during live game situations going forward. Second, the response from Tucker and Freeman reveals just how deeply united this Dodgers roster truly is. These are players who will fight, respectfully but fiercely, for each other without hesitation. That kind of clubhouse culture is what separates good teams from championship teams. Third, and perhaps most importantly, Ohtani's confession and his calm acceptance of the ruling demonstrates once again why he is not just the most talented player in baseball, but arguably its greatest ambassador. He could have been angry. He could have deflected. He chose honesty, humility, and professionalism, and in doing so, he elevated himself even further in the eyes of baseball fans worldwide. Shohei Ohtani hit his first home run of the 2026 season tonight. It was immediately controversial, immediately complicated, and immediately unforgettable. But through the chaos, the protests, the penalties, and the shocking confession, one thing became crystal clear: Shohei Ohtani remains in a class entirely his own, not just as a baseball player, but as a human being. What do you think about tonight's incredible incident? Do you believe the umpires made the right call? Should Tucker and Freeman have protested so aggressively? And what did you think about Ohtani's shocking confession after the game? Let us know everything in the comments section below. If you want to stay updated on the latest and most exciting news from the baseball world, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single story. We will see you in the next one.